When the Hollywood strike was going on, a bunch of actors and actresses were hitting the podcast scene, and well, a bunch of names from the past that we haven't heard from in a long time started to pop off, and one of them that did was Rachel Bilson. You might remember her from a little show called The OC. You know what? I was thinking about this. It was only 4 seasons long, and yeah, 4 seasons. Only 3 of them were really anything to write home about when it came to cultural relevance. The 4th season kind of fell off harder than, well, most of the cast of the OC, but it was really, really big stuff. I know everybody was watching it, and yeah, of course, back in the time, I was watching it as well. Rachel Bilson, oh, she was a little cutie patootie that was on there. I was more of a Misha Barton guy, but then again, I always have terrible taste in women. Whenever there's a dichotomy between the two, okay, here, I'll just go ahead and, kick it back even further since we're taking a walk down nostalgia lane. What was the other big head-to-head? This might have been actually a little bit before this, or I think my timelines are basically correct. Like, it was either you were a Hilary Duff guy or you were a Lindsay Lohan guy. Spoilers, once again, terrible taste in the grand scheme of things. Like my pot-headed friends, I was hanging out with the rougher crowd that was out there. They were all Hilary Duff guys, which is so weird in contrast. Haven't seen them in a long time. Hopefully they're doing well. But somebody else who I haven't heard about doing literally anything is Rachel Bilson. What's she talking about right now? The OC star, Rachel Bilson, 42. She's 42. Well, that show was about 20 years. Wow, that's... Again, another strange thing to think about. Anyways, admits she thinks that it's weird if a single man in his 40s has only slept with 4 women. Do you agree? I do. I very much do, but probably not for the reasons that she does. I want to hear her explanation before I chime in. Rachel Bilson isn't shy when it comes to sharing what she likes or doesn't like in the bedroom, so it's no surprise that she made another bourgeois confession on her podcast. Oh, she has a podcast. Everybody has a podcast. Everybody's a critic. Everybody's a podcast host. The actress, 42, revealed that she's cautious about dating men in their 40s. Well, they're probably cautious about dating you because you're 42 if they haven't had a high number of sexual partners. Well, 4 in your 40s? Anyways, I'm tipping my hand a bit. Speaking on her podcast, Broad Ideas with Rachel Bilson, she said, "This is gonna sound so judgmental. That's totally fine. Women judge men all the time. I don't know why you're highlighting it. But if a dude's in his 40s and he's only slept with 4 women," but she did acknowledge that it all depends on certain situations. Yeah, okay, because a woman can't be straightforward and honest about her opinion. And this one right here, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Maybe he's been in a decade-long relationship, totally respectable, but come on, man. In today's day and age, 4 dudes, yeah, we can go ahead and take this right here before I elaborate on everything. Do you agree that it's weird for a 40-something man to have only slept with 4 women? Exactly. Really? Really? I actually, in today's blue-pilled society, totally don't find that at all shocking. But if he's single in his 40s, and it's only 4, and he's never been in a long-term relationship, then that's an issue. Yeah, very much so. That's a pretty good pre-selector, but then again, you're never going to get an accurate description. Regardless, that's either men or women. Women are going to underestimate how many guys that they've slept with, and men are going to overinflate. You know how you end up figuring that stuff out? Well, that once again just kind of comes into my reasoning as to why I agree with her on this. Let's see what she has to say, though. The conversation also sparked when Rachel, along with her co-host and a longtime friend, Olivia Allen, and podcast producer Rob Holitz, reflected on their various dating histories. Rachel previously dated her OC co-star Adam Brody. Oh, yeah, the guy that she was in an on-screen... That was during 2003 to 2006. Okay, yeah, that seems to make sense. And was the decade-long on-again, off-again romance, 18-month engagement. Wow, with the actor Hayden Krish. Yo, she was out there, taking a little bit of the dark side, but without having to go to the dark side. Cool. Which ended in September of 2017. He's Anakin Skywalker, by the way. The couple share a daughter, Bria Rose. Oh, no. Didn't want to call her Padme. 8 years old. Okay, more recently, she dated comedian Bill Hader, now 45, and the pair broke it off in 2020. Yeah, whatever. Back in 2022, she was rumored to be in a relationship with artist Zach LaRock. Okay, with whom she was seen putting on a very romantic display during an outing in May of last year. Yeah, because she's a single mom now, and now she's getting desperate, trying to latch on to anybody who's going to give her anyways. However, she never officially confirmed that they were dating, despite admitting in appearance on the Call Her Daddy podcast, PU, last August that she had a new boyfriend. Well, that's wonderful, man. Somebody's dumb enough to go ahead and, play for the cleanup crew, okay? Not be the stepdad, be the dad that's stepped up. Oh, God, I die every time I say that. The podcaster, who is known for speaking extremely candidly about her sex life. Gross. I don't care. That is maybe just for even still, if that's like the content of your podcast, that's a low value attribute, but whatever. Okay, the actress revealed that she did not have an orgasm during sexual intercourse until she was 38, as she waxed lyrically about intimacy during the conversation with comedian Whitney Cummings. Oh yes, there's nothing more attractive than a bunch of late 30-year-olds opining about their box. Rachel declared the experience crazy, but did not reveal how she shared the encounter. Yeah, this is just getting completely and totally off track. I frankly don't care about them talking about what their favorite positions are, which one makes their hips hurt the most, or which one's the easiest, just in case you start to hear the baby monitor chime in. I don't care about any of that stuff, but yeah, okay, there you go. Okay, that's her. Is that her a little bit? Yeah, that's her back when she was far more attractive. Hopefully she's legal. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, she definitely would have been legal during that time. Okay, good. And didn't end up catching myself in any type of situation. But here she is saying, okay, the original premise of this article was that she said that she thought it was weird for a 40-year-old single guy to have only bedded 4 women, which I totally and wholeheartedly agree with, because a guy who's 40 has only been around the block once, twice, 3 times, 4 times over. He's probably a weird guy. He's probably a low value guy, and a guy who's a loser at 40, quite frankly, has been a loser throughout his entire life. If he hasn't honed any skills, any leadership skills, any value that would make him something as a man by the time that he gets 40, chances are he's going to be a loser for the rest of his life. So what she's just doing is just describing those intrinsic feelings when it comes to being a woman, of understanding that a guy who, if other women don't want him, why would I want him? It just harkens back to that old axiom. When you're that guy, when you're the guy that other guys want to be, guess what? Other women want to fuck him. It's plain and simple. That's the way that it's been forever and will continue to be forever, regardless. When women say, oh, I don't really want a guy that has that high of a body count. That is absolute, total comprehensive cap, because you know what, they want somebody. Here she is, somebody. I'm glad that we read a little bit further into that article. Actually, she for the first time in her life, she had an orgasm at the age of 38. I'm gonna take a wild guess. That was probably somebody that has been around with a few different women, probably has a lot of experience. Nothing is sexier to a woman if he knows your body better than you do, ergo why you had such a crazy experience, something that you didn't even know was possible, because that guy has been around a couple of times. But even just adding in all those caveats as she did at the beginning, oh, maybe he's been in long-term relationships, maybe he's just been focused on different things. That's all well and dandy, but in today's day and age, guys who immediately off rip just get into a relationship, those aren't really lasting all that long. I'm not out here being one of those guys that you could look at and go, Don, you're just out there trying to promote degeneracy in society. Okay, go ahead and read your Bible off in the corner and then just jack off to internet porn thinking that you're doing something completely and totally more in line with your morals, values, and the Lord will look brightly upon you. Just take and tell your fucking story walking, okay? Because guess what? There's a higher rate of porn addiction when it comes to married men than single men. Porn has probably saved more relationships than cheating has broke up. But no, if you're resigned to simply just beating off in the corner because you're too scared of your woman, or you're just too scared to approach, you're probably one of those losers who is unattractive to a wide swath of women. So, as Rachel Bilson accurately points out, by the time that you're 40, if you haven't developed those skills, even though she wasn't articulating it in quite that manner, that's what she intrinsically means. It's like whenever you're talking to a woman and you ask her, what are you looking for in a man? And she knows that, if she just lays out a fiduciary number off rip by saying, I want a guy who makes 80, 90, 100K per year, she might come off as a gold digger. So she'll go ahead and couch her description of what she's looking like in a provider, or what she's looking for in a provider, by saying, I'm looking for a guy who's ambitious. Well, it's the exact same thing. She wants to see a guy who has something going on in his life, somebody who is out there on goal, on purpose, trying to achieve something with their life. And that's what women actually want. It's not some mystery. It's not something all that complex. They'll go ahead and they'll add more words to it than what is actually necessary in order to get a point across. But the moment that you know what women want, they want experience, they want leadership, they want protection, they want provisioning, and they want security. Once you know all of that stuff, the rest of it is just all flowery nonsense. You cut through that shit, and guess what? You won't have to worry about reaching the ripe old age of 40 and then have only bedded 4 or less. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.